Hey, how y'all doing out there? Um, I get some good results. I ran this a couple times on it, on only me. I showed y'all one of them, but the other one I did another. I did another one because I moved it all, and it wasn't as funny. So, but anyway, I'm back here in the back, and it seems to be working fairly decent. I guess everybody here on the state line at Tennessee and Kentucky's going to bed. I reckon weekday. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing fine. I wanted to talk about something that has a except well I'll speak for myself on this because a lot of people don't want to go any deeper into themselves than they already have over the last 5 or 6 years. Um, you can keep trying to figure that you had something to do with this, and what's your role in stopping that? Taking that energy back. And well, of course, you can't do that. But what you can really do is, I don't know. You can put some coins in the karma bank. You can put some coins in the karma bank. It never hurts to do things that nobody else knows about. I think that's one of the best things about living away from people the most. And hey, Tian, how you doing, honey? Is that I do a lot of things that I really don't talk about the pictures that I take. I mean, if I really took, wow, it's you probably see maybe 25, 30% of what I could show. I just think some things in life for everybody were meant for you to see. They were meant for you to witness, and it's part of your journey. But it's one of those things that gets tossed in the mix that well, some things can actually make or break you from who you were supposed to be. And then who is that, by the way? Who are we supposed to be? You know what? That's about as lame as thinking the tree's always going to be there, like a tornado can't come tear it down, or some asshole needs to build a house, out of wood for some reason. And but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. And there's too many cliched, not only responses but accepted freaking ideologies or even philosophies that people live by. Well, we never did before. We never did before, man. This is something that's gonna, you gotta, the losing part of this is a Logan's Run type of death. So you're not really looking at your own shit. They'll kill you with the next jab they make you take in a smart city. But it's just a fact that it's like you got to be a butt kisser to stay alive. It's it's going to be like being, in a way, you're stuck in on X or Truth Central. Well, they can. One's named after Satan, and the other one's named, a fucking liar naming something Truth Central. A con man, liar, 34 counts of conning people. Lots of conning, fake university, fake everything. But you got real fucking supporters. Well, anyway, because of shit like that, man, where I could sit there and even I've taken white nationalists to the river, so to speak. I've taken black haters. I just hated white folks for whatever reason, man. They probably had reasons. To the river, meaning I take them there and I let them wash themselves off, and not like baptizing and coming up new. Just wash that shit off, and then start over for a minute. Go back to square one. What are you trying to achieve in life? What do you need? What do you need? How do you are going to get this achievement achieved? How are you going to get it done? If it's going to take people, then right there, anything of looking at anybody differently anyway is planned, and that's what they freaking want you to do. I mean, that's old school fucking shit. That shit's a couple thousand years old, or however old history is. listen, hey Kathy, how you doing? They because I have taken a lot of time and just watch this shit. I just watch it, man. I just watch reactions. The reactions are the thing. Something I just got a knack for it, and but I got a addiction to it, so to speak, man. I just love seeing it. Hey, Margaret, how you doing, honey? And but anyway, man, some of this crazy stuff that people fall for, or believe, or just take out of the word. It's not about if you are left or right, because that you should know by now that's just a paradigm. But it makes two group thinking um, types of thinking, and how this you can make this group parrot like this, and the other one's going to react and parrot like this, right back, and then back and forth and back and forth. And this ain't been doing nothing but one upping the left wing extremists were one upping when Biden, a retard, supposedly won the election, but from March 13th, 2020 until May 26th, 2023, we was under FEMA, no matter what the fuck anybody says. So that means that the Roe versus Wade shit was bullshit. All that was bullshit. Everything's been bullshit. It's propaganda. They made it legal in 2012. 2012. Right, just shortly after that, I had 3 toes crushed off, and my delusions, or the illusion I was fed about, all the work, gung ho, be the company man, trickle down. Well, I never fell for the trickle down. You gotta really be hating the other side to accept some of the things your side gives you the fucking rah on. Wow, man, yeah, you got to you pull for either a blithering idiot there for a while. Some of you actually voted for and mostly voted for that fucking crooked Hillary. Man, that like when she did the head bobbling thing, she's like, wow, wow, wow. Y'all should have seen it right then. That wasn't a bad reaction to the type of dope that they're given, so they can do stuff like that and walk around and crap in a diaper like Trump does all day and Biden did all day. Matter of fact, all that bullshit about how I deal with one side harder than the other it actually is bullshit. I just put up some videos, and I mean, that 2023, man, that's when I realized that a lot of people's gonna die, and it's no matter if you are cool with them or not when they're being fucking dicks. They don't want any help. They know what they did to themselves, and they're going to carry it all the way to the end. And we've watched this. Got several years of it. So that's what I mean about the isolation. Because I know somebody that's really isolated a lot deeper than they thought. And some of it's like a dream come true, and then some of it's like a fucking nightmare of having to relive the very things that they had to live through from childhood. They got them that way. That agoraphobia. And well, I don't like to talk about other people, so I just say me. I just realized here with both my sons having babies in May, and boys and big boys, that one of them was 21 and a half inches. That I'm like, wow, I'm out here and I'm in the woods. Nobody comes in the woods, so I can't be fucked with. Hey Keith, what's going on, brother? Hey Star, how you doing, honey? Hey Robin, and this battery thing keeps popping back on and off. I wasn't going to make this a long one anyway. And all right, okay, I think. And hey Robin, if I didn't say anything, hello. And the reason I'm talking about it here is because I think it's something that other people need to hear, because I think every one of us since September 11th has been just trying to pull away our own morals, our own perception of life, than the reality of life, the way we try to live it or live away from it. The way we handle things, react to things. I'm not, because I'm not, y'all know that I'm not much on all that suppression and shit, you know, and I mean, I don't believe in being hysterical. I believe in a good old slap when somebody was being hysterical. There wasn't nothing wrong with that because you wasn't trying to hurt them. You were just trying to wake them up. And it was, and 9 times out of 10, somebody would thank you for doing that shit. And I mean, you know, because wow, they were being hysterical. They could have fucked everything up. I mean, I go and tell you right now, man. Airline pilot and the stewardess back in the day, if the plane was going down to crash, man, they act like it was. They wouldn't act. They would be professional. Um, a lot of those trained type behaviors from the post World War II, or even that, you know, during that whole time period before that with the Great Depression and Dust Bowl. Yeah, they're like, yeah, they can say what they want, man. They pretty much minimum 7 million Americans starved to death. I mean, starved to death over the time period. Really, it was like 31 to 34, maybe 36, I think. 31 to 36 over 5 years. 7 million, and 99% of the farms were owned by the family. Only 1% by any type of corporation. And that's probably just somebody getting some, you know, whatever. Now it's 99% corporations. I mean, that puts you know, and it's headed that way. Everything's burning up, man. The desertification, everything just going back to like dry sand because it's whatever, man. Whatever, you know. I never cared for like the terminology that they use, but what I cared for less was that they fucking politicized the planet and what's really going on with it, and you argue about it like a talking point when it's our life. I mean, wow, it's yours too, man. You're welcome to the barbecue. Hey, Sarah, yeah, how you doing, honey? So the thing about the isolation and not paying attention to it, um, like connections to critters and all. And I just say the dogs for sure. Um, wow, just fucking wow. I mean, and just knowing things and seeing things in the woods and not things not always running off. And well, yeah, that makes for some really nice pictures, but it's like really great moments. It's just as intoxicating of a thought process for me to just walk off until my day's end and not and probably not. I mean, this. I mean, hell, I still got it where it's not bad at all, by the way. But you know, you go walk off. I mean, you're prone to the element, the weather. Um, I mean, it'd be about as dumb as climbing Mount Everest or fucking climbing these buildings like these idiots, man. I wrote something about that the other day, man. I mean, like back in the day, just to watch a dirt bike jump, you know, like Evel Knievel, man, just jump some buses without the flips, without the ringer, you know, whatever, man. I mean, they're crazy. They're wild today. But man, those motherfuckers, they say you don't see them like painted on the sidewalk because they fell off a building. And I did write, you know, remember 9/11 because that was watching people fall, and they were showing them. I think about the first or everyone they could for about the first dozen people. I guess somebody must have started calling in or something. And they show them splattering, man. I never seen nothing like that. A body, you know, falls 55, 60 stories, you know, 600 feet, 2 football fields, boom. And to have to make that decision when I'm going to burn or choke to death and heated fucking, you know, asbestos smoke that the guy just got insurance on. Wow. Um, you know, or the jump. Even if some people live, just have to go through that, you know, that kind of mental torture. How do you got to pick your fucking death? But then I got thinking about it. Hey, Trina, how you doing? And that's how it's kind of like picking life since 2022, the end of 2022, and just going on. That fucking devastated me, and it made it easy to slip into more of them. And I can use, you know, good cool words like feral state, but fucking wow. I mean, I don't even need the hammock no more. And we'd like to say he never did, but I do like creature comforts. I think the biggest thing I miss from having a house and doing the whole thing is hot showers. I care less about laying in the bed and watching TV. And as a matter of fact, if I go into bed and I do anything but sleep, I'm gonna got the munchies. I'll be sitting there eating and smoking. Then watching TV probably or being on the phone nowadays. And that's the other thing. The phone made it easy to overlook isolation from your state of mind because you're going to talk to other people about it, man. Don't be getting isolated so far from that you're even isolated from yourself. Now, I'm nowhere near isolated from myself at all. I'm isolated with myself. Um, and I don't mind the company. I don't got all these hang-ups. I don't, so I don't got I don't got really much, I'm not really, I just me. I guess I don't really, things don't bother me one way or another. How you view me, because I'm not trying to look like something and I'm not trying to act like something. I'm not trying to emulate something. Just one thing leads to another. But I did make decisions early on, and I did see that this was like the rat race. The eating the same food every day. How's that food taste the fucking same every fucking day? So time you bought your first fucking whatever burger, Mexican taco, whatever, whatever the fuck you bought the first time, how does it still taste the same? How does it taste the same in fucking Australia? How does Mexican Coca-Cola in that Coca-Cola bottle at the store taste just like the other Coke, but don't got the deadly ingredients in it? Well, we sent all the people back home, so they probably won't send us no more Coke. Damn. That's too bad for Eric Trump and fucking Hunter Biden. Huh? That Patel found Hunter Biden's cocaine. That's why he walks around like this all the time. It's very good coke. I tested it myself. Because I'm a loyalist Q-tard. Now, that's scary, though, man. And it's another reason why it makes it easy to isolate. When I say that, man, my door's always, my door's always open, that's for sure. But there's always a fire if somebody wants to sit by one, or I'll go walk in the woods if if it's right there, and it is, it's a beautiful place around here. Easy to walk, hills and hollers and beautiful springs, and it was like today when I was getting water, and this guy's riding around on a 3-wheeler, and I'm in a 4-wheeler, and he gets close enough, almost like he's going to say something or talk. Look at that ham bone right there. Oh man. And and but he don't. And so I'm back here in the back part, I'm definitely on Jackie's land, and I'm definitely on his spring, and I just had the headset on and I wasn't paying no attention to that, but I got thinking about it too, I knew right where he was. I could hear the sound. I already knew the way the sound is never where you think it is in these hollers. If you're anywhere in Kentucky or the hills, anywhere I was for sure on the western side of the Appalachians, all the way through the foothills, the sound's never, never where you think it is. So just take a minute and get used to it. That's what I did on Old Columbia Road at 2 different places. And that was only a couple 100 yards apart, and the sound was different. But it's also pretty wild. I guess that's why they call them hollers, and they used to use them like that. And you can get so much is lost out there, or draw them in, so to speak. In other words, I can see why a lot of the legends about the leggers, the bootleggers and the whatever leggers out there, they use the hills, to do their stuff in. And I'm in that area now. I'm in one of those areas. I'm right here on the Tennessee-Kentucky line now, y'all. And it's well, it's almost the same, but everything's fucking different. Looks like there's going to be a lot of chanterelles. They seem to be coming up. That's one that wasn't on the other side of the river, and where I was, or even on Old Columbia Road. But there's not hardly any red clover over here. So just little, things I'm having to trade out. But I can also, hey, tell me what's going on, brother. Hey, okay. And I said, hey, you train almost got the chicken dinner right there. But anyway, It's the first year since I've been here. Well, now the second year I was over there at the trailer, I felt confident enough to plant a little bit of stuff. But I planted like some lavender and some basil, some other things, some little small plants in a container type thing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pop them. I mean, it's June to through September here for good warm weather. And well, like the end of June, really, where it's going to really actually get warmed up. But it's a little bit below temperatures, and it's a little bit more wet than the last 6 years. But overall, where I'm sitting here, it's been the most consistent weather, and I've lived in it my whole entire life. It's almost like every year, sometimes to the year, to the day. I mean, the weather would be the same, and I got the memories, and that's why I used to like to keep up with that, and I'm back to doing that. Um, and there you go. I mean, the remembering the past don't only mean that you repeat it. They also that you learn from it. See where you were right or wrong. That's where you get your wisdom from. But the working wisdom is what's lacking right now. Everybody's looking for the front porch rocking chair grandpa wisdom. How about the working wisdom in your life right now? And I'm having to do that with myself and realize that like, one of the biggest things I talk about and I worry about with everybody else is becoming so isolated that you really don't want to fit back in. Even if there was an opening and it was a good, comfortable opening, or it was one that you could work with real easy because everybody was just being themselves and were actually going to be themselves, and you never had to worry about this ever again. That sounds kind of like a victimish, but so to speak, if there was such a word. But the thing is, man, they made this shit this way. I started the lies for a whole different reason not to get this way, and to get rid of the fear of not knowing what people were going to do, ever not know what they're going to do. And then everybody knows that. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. Hey, Tony, how you doing, honey? Everybody knows that. Man, everything's just a fucking lesson almost. Almost like like that Limp Bizkit song, "Life is a lesson. You learn it when you're through." Kind of like that little lyric and or piece of lyric, and I find myself in the fucking mud puddle, but not even knowing I'm in there. I can be sitting right beside you, not realizing how much I've isolated myself and how much I really don't want to be fucking with. I mean, I just almost said it too. I'll say it. I don't really want to fuck with nobody unless you come like to the natural fucking realm. I don't want to step out of the woods. It ain't that I've been in here too long. It ain't that I got used to it like people get used to prison. It's the only reason. I'm the only fucking reason I'm still alive today. And this has been where I've taken and done things personally for myself, where I knew somebody how they were going to feel, how they were going to react, how they were going to heal, or even the time periods of just certain little key things. Um, wow, those are like the main ones, and those were things I did for myself. So that's what I know everybody can do, or anybody can do for themselves, and step away from the Amazon or the herbal supplies places. Go get some things, hand harvest it, dry it yourself, cure it yourself, however it's supposed to be done. Touching it is a part of holistic healing. Touching the ingredients. That's why I don't like to put my tea in an open bag when I send it to you. And it ain't just because I'm cheap. That is part of the reason I'm cheap, but it's what you need, and it's what works, and is available and consistent available. That's what my problem has been with supplies, is finding consistent things. Like China, they love to fuck people, that sell Rishi to anybody but them. But anyway, And it's not an easy thing to for you to admit to anybody else, or for me to get out here and say, "Wow, y'all, I feel like I've been out here like the Tarzan things hit in, and I don't even give a fuck about no Jane. I don't give a fuck about the fucking monkey, cheetah. I don't care about none of that shit. I just want to swing on the vine until I go home, you know." But anyway, I don't know where I put my last cigarette. I think it's up here in the front, but this piece of one will work. But anyway, nobody really saying much. I like throwing things out there, even though it's only going to be for 30 days now. And when anybody finds an alternative or a good place to send your videos, 'cause I got a bunch on this. That's why I'm so glad I got this fucking account back. And it was just fucked up. If it hadn't been for this phone, I wouldn't have got it done. But um, they added 6 months to the time. So you start deleting video. I mean, not downloading them and putting them somewhere else. Facebook really, they sent me a thing, and it said Facebook realizes that that's a big task, you know. And some people have lots and lots of live videos. Well, why are you fucking with them then? Leave them the fuck alone. See, they're trying to take away, they're taking away functions that draw power, electricity. Because when you run AI full blown, that's how it can take in billions of pieces of information around the world and mimic it and plagiarize it and emulate it, but it does not create nothing new. It just takes what's already been made and fucking polishes it. I mean, Jack's talking about today, polishing a turd. You can't polish a turd, but it'll polish it, make it look good, but it's still a stinky piece of shit. And all that stuff, man, it's only going to be as powerful as you let it be. Always remember that. The computer, electricity, which it was said way back in the late 1800s to be the bane of mankind. So it's looking that way. But the crazy part was about this to me has been watching so many other people just go through like just literally fucking hell, lose what they think is everything that they've ever had, and still be pushing forward, not realizing that they've taken themselves out of it, except for the bell ringing. That's all I do is just ring a bell. You heard it. Whether you wanted to hear it or listen to it, that's on you. I gave up on trying to convince everybody. I realized early on, because my mom was a hypochondriac and she took that flu shot. She didn't even tell me she took the fucking flu shot 3 days before she died. Last time I talked to her on the phone, and she knew I'd get in her ass about it, and I'd be like, "Why'd you get the flu shot again?" This is like every year since I've known you, you've taken the flu shot, and then you're out of work and you're sick with the flu. So you wanted it. You wanted the flu because you know you're going to get it. I mean, I try to use all that kind of reverse. I mean, some people are so smart they're stupid, and nowadays some people that you used to think were so stupid are pretty fucking smart. Because it's not. You're not going to live under a technocracy. You're going to exist. And you don't worship and lick these motherfuckers' boots. And they'll be keeping up with it. Like I said, it's going to be like one big social platform, social scoring, all that crap. Now you'll have what you might think is an easy life if you don't mind licking the ass crack of motherfuckers that still want you dead. They don't care. It's just impossible to take away a couple 100 million people. You can move them away, and I think they're going to start some of that shit. Don't ever forget the Rex 84 contingency plan for all that stuff that just happened. They still got the 100 and something fucking Walmarts and super Walmarts that are fucking FEMA camps that they put them people in. I mean, everybody was worrying about the kids, and we always worrying about the kids, but I was looking at the fucking Walmart thing. I'm like, why they, and like there was 6 of them that had closed up for plumbing reasons, and they were 6 of the main ones, almost like I don't know, like a place where you would run them through, classify your prisoners or something. And by the way, I've I've been knowing this, and it really that shit down in Ecuador or El Salvador, hell, all through Central America. I want you to remind y'all of the Colombian drug trade. You want to know how dirty that was? They always call it the Colombian necktie. Actually, that's when the Green Berets were down there teaching them how to fucking do assassinations and leave the Green Beret calling card, which would have been the Vietnamese, the Viet Cong necktie. But it wound up being they're that ruthless. That kind of money, that kind of business, it has that kind of energy in it. That kind of people, all a bunch of thugs and shit. Easy money, but getting rich off people's demises. It don't matter. That's where they were, and that's who they were. Those prisons are just fucking slaughterhouses. You think, well, Bill, them MS-13, they could have raped that girl. They could have murdered somebody. They got to do something to get into the club. And MS-13 is not a Mexican game, by the way. It's actually a Central American game. And I think mostly El Salvador. So a lot of those, you ever notice how they have them in that like brand new T-shirt and brand new boxers, and that's all they got on, and the flip flops, and they got to walk them around like give them the turtle walk, with their hands behind their back. That's because they ain't gonna be in there that long. That's the only clothes they're gonna get. They show this shit now. Now since that dude did that video, they blocked all that shit out. They got building 3 more just like that one, which is supposed to be a 30,000 bed facility. That's a 30,000 bed slaughterhouse. Now, yeah, it's in another country. Why do you think they had Gitmo at the end of Cuba? Well, actually, it was to watch Cuba, and because the Russian oil tankers and Chinese oil tankers were always protected by somebody from that particular country's navy. So it always looked like a threat, like Russian battleships coming into Cuba under Democrat watch. It's like, wow, they always come in there, dumbass. Y'all are just seeing it now so you can politicize it. And I'll tell you another thing about, hey, Kim, how you doing, honey? Hey, Mike, what's going on, brother? Hey, Anthony, I didn't see y'all pop in right there. It's easy to stay away from conversations with people in the physical realm because I don't act like one way out here and then one way out here, in either realm. Hell, if I'm tripping, I act about the same then. I'm just real silly and laugh a lot. Maybe I need to trip. But hey, Bruce, what's going on, brother? But that means that I'm able to vent out here. You should use this more often for venting or just getting not a kick in the teeth on somebody that was kicking you in the teeth for a bunch. And that's in Black Walnuts hitting the roof for all political bullshit or like they're not even the enemy. The bullshit it ain't gonna stop. So I ain't gonna say it needs to stop. Everybody knows. But we're social creatures. We have to have a certain amount of time physically around people. I get around Mouse and Heather for rides and stuff, and Bryson here and there, and Jimmy here and there, and really not anybody else. And the last year was kind of weird being out there. Kind of felt like I was stuck in between them 2 fields, and the signal was never here until they ran a fiber optics wire over the fucking camper, and all of a sudden I was getting decent reception, and boom, I'm moving out. But a beautiful place and the time that was needed to be alone. But I ain't lying. I've gotten so fucking comfortable with it. I won't even make decisions. I mean, my mind, my subconscious and conscious, they know better sometimes than to step into the ring because they know that neither one of them ain't gonna step out. That's why my brain's all beat up. But you know, I just can't win for losing on that one. I'm not going to make a decision about it. But it feels more like freedom. It feels more like I felt even with what went on in the home when I was outside of the home as you know, and I say the first 10, 11 years of my life. And that what I call freedom, where I'm doing things knowing the reaction to what I'm doing, knowing the legal boundaries of what I'm doing, knowing that everything can be like that movie Easy Rider when they beat him up after talking about freedom all night and tripping on smoking some good weed and shit and talking about freedom and how people resented that shit and they represented that shit that they can't be. Um, they beat him with killed old Jack Nicholson's character, and they were supposed to go to New Orleans and go to a whorehouse or something. And I think they went and tripped on acid. But even in the end of that, but the thing, after a while, there's like nothing scary because you faced every coyote yelping at night or whatever it is, whatever, and you've done things on your own. I think that's where a lot of people are afraid, and that's where it's hard to, and I'm admitting, it's hard not to cross over into complete isolation. But when you start to separate yourself from people that would drown you, as you're trying to save them, or as you're trying to save your fucking self, not that they throw you a concrete, a lifeline, life ring, but while you're waiting on it, you're next in line, man. They're drowning your ass and getting on top of your shoulders while you're in 100-foot deep water or whatever. I'm just saying. I think even without the Rona shit though, if the other things, which they probably wouldn't have felt that way, well, you can't say that. This whole thing is based on all the sicknesses, all the big major changes, all this new need for all this big nuclear power generated electrical infrastructure that they're fixing to run through for their bullshit. And just how they've been running it. Remember, Facebook's been on AI since 2017. 2017 when they announced it. And that's when, you got Linda the McMahons have been in the last, now, if you say a year right now, the last 9 years. Trump, and then Benny Mac was writing for Biden because that wasn't much to write. Had 3 years of some special needs president, and the whole time it was just all. I told you he was the executioner. They don't do nothing. The executioner don't read your sentence out to you when you're given a death sentence. He don't have any emotions putting you in the guillotine or putting your neck in the rope. When he pulls the lever, he's pulled it 1,000 times before. He knows the thing is he's just he's just separating the soul and the body. That's what he's doing. He's sending one back to the ground and one back to where it came from. He don't care, in other words. He wasn't a judge. He wasn't a jury. He's the executioner. Now anything that they do, the damage has been done. This bullshit that hey Tony, what's going on, brother? That any of y'all are holding on to, that there's somebody, it don't matter even if they're just I'll say it, a little bit fucking rich. Because they think that they're going to be saved too. What do you think they blew up the Guidestones for down there in Georgia? Huh? What do you think they did that? They'll just make it all now somebody will put something up, have actual pictures from being there, and somebody say, oh, that's AI generated, fake news. Because when you don't want to believe something, you don't got to because you got the internet. And when you want to believe something, there you go. It's right here on the internet. When you're in between, they got something right there for you too. It's on the internet. I wrote it this time. Hey, don't live in here. Don't live in here in the social media. Not just the social media. I tell you what, I get stuck up on them fucking headlines of news articles. Yeah, every one of them you're gonna read. If they're not begging for a fucking dollar or giving you your second or third free read, you can't read it because it's from Canada, or Canadians can't read ours because it's from us, and they censor this shit. So, Bob, you don't even know what the fucking shit. So you shouldn't even. In other words, I shouldn't even be doing it. It's a waste of time. But I'll sit there for me and time don't get along, as y'all know. But I don't know, say an hour or so just going through bullshit headlines till I'm like, wow, man, I'm done with this. I'm just done with this. Fuck this. Let's go back to doing what I was doing before. And now I haven't taken myself out of anybody else's shoes when I think about my own situation. I think that's elemental. It's not just completely the key to surviving grief. It's to feel other people's grief. As long as you're feeling theirs, man, you're not getting yours 100%. And some people don't want theirs 100%. I don't want mine 100%. Where I even, if I catch myself drifting off from being sad about Jessica going home, I'll sit here and watch fucking videos so I goddamn cry myself to sleep. I'm not going to set that down. That's one of them decisions I made. It don't have anything to do with isolation, but I did isolate that part of my life from everybody else, and other things like some of the things that I was writing when I just, and that was just relief as well. I love to write something and just put something down in a whole different prose than what the fuck how I was really feeling it, but it's relief. And sometimes it's decent, sometimes it's just boring, make you yawn. But the thing is, make decisions about stuff in your life. The last 5 years of decision making for the bullshit that they threw at you, at the same time that all this poisoning was setting in with these young people, or really anybody, 50 and under, 50, some 60 and under that drank this fucking fluoride water, or was in areas near where they grew all this fucking GMO foods and stuff with that atrazine. All that clicked at the same time. I'm pretty sure they sat in their little dark room, their dark MAGA room, and these billionaire, killer clowns from Mars, and and go, whew, I can't believe we just got away with that. I can't believe that they are that scared of something, or they don't, or they're that apathetic, or they're that empathetic to the shit that we've been, that the McMahons have been kind enough to write this script for us. So when they take over, I told you, man, the thing, I would say a technocracy is your most narcissistic and fucking biased, like bigoted way of ruling people. It's worse than the kings, but like you got to remember something. History's something you should always look at it. And we used to kill our kings when they wasn't being kingly, and a lot of it had to do with the sowing, because people could ask the dead, if the king was doing right, or they had him on the right path, if something was going bad or whatever, and they would tell him. That's why they put the Halloween on on October 31st, and not the last full moon in October. That's when the real sowing is. But anyway, it don't matter. Well, none of that shit matters, because and that's what bothers me a lot, because I got a really strong, good interest in history, and now I'm at a point in my life where I've got some history to like actually live through history and some really wild fucking things. And any of y'all, I bet anybody out here right now can look back on your life and say, wow. Because you only know, like, those things that happened when there wasn't nobody else around. That's what, to me, has me to where I just procrastinate, and I don't do it very long, about my decision to live like I'm living, which don't mean I'm not going to be around people. It's just I'm not going to be very, I'm not going to like, I don't know, we'll take it day by day. How about that? Because I don't want to have any baggage, and I didn't feel like I was carrying any until I got really honest about this. And one of them things was one, picking up on connections when you and another species of animals out in the woods, and that most natural, common form of communication without no words or nothing. That shit is fucking amazing. And with Trigger, Trigger and Urban, except for the fact one, got to live his whole life about 16 and a half years, and Trigger, bless him, he's 7.5 years old. Um, they were showing me just as much as I was showing them. It was like an adventure the whole time. And with her, it's like an adventure, but that's like been a pain in the ass, because if you don't get a couple hours or walk through these woods, and I go down to the spring at least once a day to get a gallon of ice cold spring water, and it's on like packed in red clay fossils. That's what it's coming out of. And I'm gonna take a little 1-inch pipe down there, probably about 4 or 5 foot long, and leach it into the hill, and to get it to where it comes out the pipe, so I can get it better. But that's nice. It's only about 250 yards away, maybe 300 yards away, but over some hills. So that that's keeping me there. And that's the other thing. I tend to stay healthier when I stay isolated. Even if I don't realize I'm isolated. And I say that in a way that I don't mind saying when I busted my ass, or I had a slip, going down a hill, or I was doing something, or I don't mind talking about something that didn't work out. Um, like I said, injury or whatever, or just didn't get something done for physical reasons or health reasons or whatever. I mean, all that's embarrassing to me, so I don't like to say I feel bad or something like that. Most men don't. Matter of fact, I don't think most people do. And it's not like putting on the fake smiles or all that bullshit. It's just like you don't want to bother people with stuff all the time. But I bet most of y'all that just listen to other people, maybe like me, probably only talk about 10 or 20% of the pain that you feel, or the fact that it feels better sometimes just not to have nobody else around, except maybe for the dog and the trees or whatever it is that you like. You could be out there swimming with Jaws and from. I know. But and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's like a spell, so it's not good. It's not me, even though I have always wanted to be somewhere where I could do my own thing, which is wow, and just right and frigging be farming without farming, and everywhere that's at, from West Virginia down to fucking Georgia, and into here in Kentucky, and what I did on the trail with the Conservancy. I'm telling you right now, yeah, anybody can do it, because you don't really have to do nothing except just pay attention to what you need and how they grow together and where they grow. And after 1 year of observing this as daily, if you can, you know what the fuck's going on. You could cover 100 acres easy, and I do that easy. And like I said before, if it wasn't for all that and how this came to pass over the last I even go back to 2016, or when I came off the trail in 2015. I wouldn't be here. And I can't believe, like today, I didn't even drink any of that Cherokee Sport. See what it's already done. for my lungs. And then I've been backing off the smokes and everything too. I was getting really concerned about that because I was having, moments where I just didn't have any breath and I'd be sweating like hell. And I'm like, wow, this is bad. This could be, something worse than, it's like the first sign symptoms of some things you don't want to be bothered with, health wise. But no, it's just a long winter. It's been one fucking long winter since goddamn 2022. Because there's no doubt in the world that when Jessica went home, that was my sunshine. And it's sad for the last time. I mean, I had all my eggs in one basket. And I'm not saying that to say anything bad about my boys, but it's when you start losing and losing and losing, and then the dreams that get crushed with the loss, like here with John Gwynn, that was 100 acres of prime tobacco land for a hemp farm, a hemp cooperative. And it was already put the fucking together, and the Rona shit come up. And they wasn't going to pass out no license because of the Rona. Just bullshit like that. Like that, one of the boys that wanted to be involved in it was a grape grower. I mean, just green thumb on that type of stuff. And now here it's all legal. And that would have already been pre-established. You're talking about working 12 to 20 people and, several $1 million a year. Especially growing shit in this soil, and they just waste it on Chinese fucking corn and Chinese fucking soybean, and nobody pays attention to that. You can't eat that shit. Little fucking critters don't eat this shit. I mean, what the fuck? What's going on, Billy? How you doing, brother? And then, all these volcanoes going off at the same time, which, by the way, since a kid, when they showed them, nobody would ever be up close to them like that. I don't know them people, and wow, it's like 1,000 ways to die every day. I'm not becoming apathetic towards people dying, but wow, man, the Darwinism bullshit, or repeating bullshit in history like Pompeii, that same place. When that rift of that plume came out with those volcanic gases, they always look like big heads, man, and like they're just slow moving, but it's a big giant thing moving about 200 miles an hour, and it can be up to around 500 or 600 degrees. And the kind of type of gas it is, man, it just fries you right there instantly. I think it was those people over there in one of the Philippine islands that got caught in one of those. Man, that sucked, man. They're like Pompeii, And that's the other thing. This location. I'm damn near Cumberland County, with this part of Tennessee and Kentucky, right where it was definitely in the top 5 on mushroom medicinals, the best in the fucking world. It's probably the best in the world on reishi. The turkey tail. I mean, like the real good heavy hitters. Just like anywhere from and through the Appalachians, up on this side of the Mississippi, I say that a lot, but that's the eastern side of the United States, and they are halfway line sometimes, kind of look at it. Grows just excellent. This has been a excellent fucking Solar Grand Maximum. It is very powerful. If you were out there in it more often, you could channel that. I talked about it years before it happened. When we were in Grand Minimum in 2017, I was trying to talk about this. It's like you're believing this stuff now because you're getting hit with cosmic radiation that the sun's not blocking back. Now it's blocking all that cosmic radiation back from our weak magnetosphere, but it's getting it's getting what it wants. The sun, and all that wants to do is shine on the earth. I mean, it is about that simple. Pretty simple relationship right there. It shines on the earth we live. We had to get immune to it, though, over 50,000 years, but there you go. But, man, this continuation with this bullshit fucking bill that went across, and you're like, well, yeah, when you support something that's just blatantly for the other side, the people that don't want you here, the people that called you useless eater, that's just a really bad one, But non-essential was even worse to me, especially when it comes from the mouth and affected mostly the people that supported the mouth. I know why you do it. It ain't really because, I mean, I never sit there and believe it's because you got anything, you think that's really cool about Trump or that he's really done something. It's the fact that they've just created this thing. And the last, well, yeah, just say since his dad, the Bush daddy, um, George Bush Sr., 88 to 92, look at those years and what happened in during that time, and it coming to 92 with Agenda 21. 1991 saying they're going to have their new world order. And then the next year they just laid out the groundwork for it, and that's what they've been going by. It ain't nothing new, man. Everybody thought DEI was new. It's that DEI started in 1865, by the way, for giving Civil War soldiers jobs that were like, amputees or, just fucked up from the war, which, I think everybody gets fucked up in wars like that when you don't want to be in. You have to kill people you don't want to kill or even know, man, just why you're told to. And then that's where all the shit comes from. Watching that kind of stuff happen, the reaction. And I do think it's a good idea to use a platform like this or something, whether you don't do the only me thing and really just do the only me thing, and do a live for yourself, man. But just talk some things out, raise your voice. Don't give a fuck if somebody's listening in a outside or somewhere in the house or in the street. Get away from your environment as much as possible, but you ain't got to go to the woods. Just get away from your environment that you daily walk around in and that you're comfortable with, and that you know exactly what time the cat's going to take a shit and exactly how much litter it takes to the fucking grain to fill the litter box each month. It's time to go to the Dollar General and get some yummy, yummy hot dogs. But you also know that, well, maybe you don't. So I'll tell you. They lived through the precursor for an end of an age. And it's so insane watching it because they got people just cheering on their demise and the people bringing their demise to them. If you were going to the gallows and the fucking hangman started giving you advice on who you were and what gender you were, will you be listening to him? So why'd you listen to that executioner? Why do we feel we have to get away from it all? Or become something that we're not just to get by? I gotta have some money. I gotta have this. I probably ain't going to get my Social Security at 62, which will be next year. And I'm going to get it while the getting's good, by the way. I wasn't going to wait till 67 anyway. I would, like I said, I retired at 50 anyway, but I planned on growing weed. I had retirement seeds and everything, man. Most people know that story. I ain't going to repeat it, but I didn't want to plant them things, and I did, and wow, they did what, like Jack's Magic Beans. That's it, goddamn grew some beanstalk. Hey, Brian, how you doing, brother? But it's not. I'm trying to get a little bit of light on. It's not something. I gotta really figure this out for myself. My whole plan. Wow, I don't make plans, but when I do, wow, they just fuck up, and I say, well, I'll never make plans again. But I had indicators that there's going to be some walking off sooner or later anyway. That's why I'd been getting ready for it. And when I was a little bit sluggish out the gate this spring, it's really mostly from just being worn out from nothing going right, and or being able to seem like get out from that goddamn no holler, man, like I was doing time over there or something. But and a lot of wasted work, but I just did it every day anyway, like if I was just going to be there, and that's what I do anywhere I go. Um, but that's a part of it, because like I said, it takes 4 seasons to accurately tell yourself if you're the landowner, or tell a landowner about his land and what he should be doing with it. I mean, you can make some immediate, you can get on somebody's land during any season and give some opinions, but you ain't really giving it from a learned, knowledgeable point of view if you ain't walked it every day for a year and seen how things grow. And how I do mine, it counts on that. Farming without farming. I mean, like I already know where the goldenrod is here. I've got a big patch over here. I've been sling blading the rest of the stuff and hand picking the stuff I'm not going to need. What wasn't here and I had in seed, I've already got down. But I'm gonna try to do some corn for some reason. But it's like the corn that's well, this is all heirloom seeds anyway. But it's the corn that's all the different colors, the Indian corn or whatever they call it. So that's like I had the seeds for it. Andy Willis sent them a couple years ago, and man, I didn't realize how much them heirlooms were, but I guess because they played it up until they finally sold out to Monsanto. So heirlooms actually owned by Monsanto's, but it's something they're not supposed to change nothing with those seeds. They're supposed to be heirloom seeds are supposed to be the one guaranteed seed in America that's gives you males and females where you can get seeds back, and you don't have to buy seeds every year. Man, wow, just fucking wow. And that's where technology and growing natural things out of the ground don't have a place with each other, You can be too smart for your britches when it comes to food. They went and made all these catfish ponds out in the desert in Africa, and they grew these catfish, and man, they was ready to eat in 3 months. They were just showing how quickly they could get something going from these GMO catfish they got out of Auburn, Alabama. The thing is, man, ponds don't last long in the fucking desert. That was wasted water. You can do like Sam Kinison said and just get them some U-Hauls and get them the fuck out of the desert, which was actually good advice, but it's like the Saudis, man, and their crop circles in the desert. You can do it, but they took a whole aquifer that probably would have been there for another, 5,000 years. Beautiful underground aquifer that these Bedouins and these people knew. It wasn't like a water company, just a place you went and got water, and they got it. And I think they had like a dozen of them fucking crop circles out there, where they're growing food in the desert. That's great. That's smart. Look what we done. We take it. Well, I know they're over there for their reasons, but they're fake ass Saudis. But wow, man, just import your shit, which is now what they're back to doing because that just ran out. Going to run out of the element that you need because you're putting water in a desert. It don't work like that. But we can stop a lot of this by this. There is some unnecessary and weird, especially when Trump was talking about it, about the trees. Like he's going to go make them the 52nd state or something, or he's going to get Doge on them and stop their Social Security. But and there is some great wood here in America. But man, we wow. There's tons of great wood in Canada. It was at a better price, and there wasn't no problems. They got it where even somebody middle class ain't going to be able to make it in a couple of years if we get that far. Whatever's going to finish up this year is going to finish up. We're going to reach the peak of solar grand maximum on the 22nd of July, I believe, supposedly. And you think these three volcanoes or 4 volcanoes blowing's been something. They could be blowing them some bitches too, so they got the volcanic ash up in the air, and they can blame it on the volcano for the darkening of the earth. I see somebody predicted a long, dark summer. By the way, I don't know if you heard about that or not. It's supposed to be a long, dark summer, and be chemtrailing the whole time. Like they've already been paid to do. Like they've already told you that they were going to do. They didn't ask you if it was okay. They just said they was going to do it. And sadly, If they had the talking head that had the most support at that time, and they just told that puppet to say something to his fucking adoring, screaming fans. By the way, all the world's a stage, so you're not watching the show, you are in the show. And that they would just get him to say, do it, and then he would tell the other ones, don't do it, and they would do it because he said don't do it. That's how they worked that shit. Did you always want to be like everybody else when you was growing up? Because everybody else is fucked up. And you are too. You're being just like everybody else. Whatever you call strength or endurance or perseverance is actually who the fuck you are and what you really do and what you can put up with, what you can absorb. And what part of that you absorb are you going to hold on to, and what part of it are you going to let go? That's all your decisions to make. This has been very clever in making things that, like, community help groups where groups of people can go talk about, problems similar problems they've had, but they're going to go talk about seriously deep personal issues with people out there that's going to me to them. Yeah, wow. And I've seen some of them comments threads, man. They'll go on for 1,200, 1,400 comments, people just yakking back and forth, And like, wow, man. They all sound like psychiatrists because they've been seeing them for a while, see? That's where you're just parroting and emulating. You're not a fucking medical doctor that got a degree in psychiatric medicine, which there's no such thing because they don't know nothing about the brain. Except it's got electricity in it, and it's mostly water. And the thing in the middle of it called the pineal gland is an open source communication around the whole fucking world. It's like having a good fucking super boosted up fucking CB and being able to talk everywhere. But without talking. Without saying a fucking word. The language is a barrier. I agree with a lot of these people out here that talk about that. It's when we use it for just basic communication and start redeveloping our ability to connect, because I do it out here, and it's why I want to stay out here. And I think it's a good thing for me out here without being around the frequencies. A lot of y'all are EMF sensitive that's still alive. Like, wow, man, I think that got a lot of people that didn't know it, and just here recently it's been accepted knowledge about, this being a frequency sickness, and all related to the 3G, 4G, and 5G applications and construction of that crap around right through our country. It's not even for us. It's not even for the fucking phone. It's for fucking running robots and driverless trucks and all that kind of techie stuff. When they built the wheat combine, they didn't build it high enough. And they already started building these things. They realized, they didn't build them high enough. So they GMO'd the wheat and made it shorter. Mankind feels like he can. It's what really makes it easy for me to just stay away from people that think they're brilliant. Man, that's why I stayed away from myself for a while. And I thought I was brilliant in machining, and I can make anything with Chinese babies, and I get them half right. No. And being innovative and being able to take things from the earth that you don't even know how it's going to affect the planet or the way things were going anyway, taking elements out, taking what we call resources out to do the dumbest ways of getting energy, making materials, all of it. All because some rich fucking assholes knew how to keep the slaves, just tricked out and believing their shit. Or this new wave of apathy where that everything, a lot of the things are most really just about everything that you do, use, drive, fuel it with, all this stuff. It's why we're sitting here like we are right now. It's kept these people rich. You got to stop every once in a while and remember that they're the ones that are insane. We're just the ones that are programmed to do whatever the fuck they say. When you get happy, or you're content, or you actually are like, whew, I did it. Without even knowing I did it, that means that I need to stay this way, isolated. Go out and walk your dog a lot and talk to people, because I don't think it's the way to go. Not for me, not for nobody else. The human nature, the social part of us. Hey, Yvonne, how you doing? Has to have human contact, and I just had a hug here not too long ago. Who did I get a hug from? I hugged Bryson, gave Bryson a hug, man. It's not hard to do. I also had somebody throw a dead owl out my fucking front yard and screaming and acting crazy while the dogs were about to tear him up, and so I can almost go back tit for tat, and that's why this will be the last thing, and I'll let y'all have you eating them back. I could go back and forth tit for tat. Oh, here's something good, but here's how it got fucked up, or here's something that's fucked up, but here's how to make some lemonade out of it. That all comes down to the perseverance part of this, the taking the pain to get something done, and maybe not physical pain. Maybe it's just a pain in the fucking ass. Maybe you got to put up with some people that you don't care for. You just love them because you were born into a family of them. But probably because you still have a heart and you want to see people live, not just survive this. Not like the 7 million, people that starved to death during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, just for being broke, just for being the first ones to be cut off by the system. I'm telling you, man, with BlackRock buying up all these house notes from the bank. I'd be right, if you were into that and thought it worked, that would be something to write a senator about and say, hey, why are they doing this? Why is the bank, or write your bank president and say, what the fuck is going on, man? Are they giving you, 2 for 1 on the dollar or something? I mean, I live here, I'm paying you. We had a deal. Now I got to make a new deal with him. And their deal is, you pay it all off, or you get the fuck out. And people will just leave their home they worked hard for. And nobody else is ever going to move into. Or they don't really give a fuck about that part. It's depopulation, y'all. It's depopulation. And I don't like saying that or living in this time period no more than you do. But here we are. And there you go. And that damn Reese's right there's got me nice and mellow and sleepy, so I'm gonna get off here and get some rest, and I hope y'all do too. I can't believe this worked right here like it did. I mean, been on here the whole time. And maybe this just needed to be said and heard, but I needed to say it out loud because I do say things out here that I have to stick to because, well, at least for 30 days. But actually, I got to stick to because I said it, and people heard that, and I still to this day understand and believe what my grandmother told me about your word being your biggest wealth. Without that, you ain't got shit. You could be a billionaire, but lie 22 times a day. So it's a piece of shit. You're just a liar. And I tend to, wow, man, just jump on up there. A little cell phone, if y'all can or not. The billionaires that are running this, and I guess you think one of them's out of the government, I mean, he ain't going nowhere. He's got an active interest in all this. They saved their ass in jail time. Well, Musk did for sure. And the shit being shut down. And a lot of it's backfiring on them. That's a good thing, you think. But no, it's just going to get them more off that like crazy. It's just working because everything's falling in place, and everybody's like, "Wow, man, that first wave was pretty fucking big. I don't know if I want to get in front of the second wave, you know." And but when they started fucking with Social Security and even other people's, that's our business. They're just supposed to count the money, and yeah, so they said it was less than 1% of the Social Security shit was their money went somewhere. It was not even worth bothering with. That they caused more disruption and probably some health related deaths, man, because people are freaking out. A lot of people that trusted RF Fake Jr., a lot of them are freaking out. They're realizing that they see in their near future they don't need the crystal ball. They just remember the mask. They remember the 6 feet. They remember the fucking vaccine. They remember warp speed. They remember the Stafford Act. They remember FEMA. All right, I remember that. That's the fucking thing. There was no COVID to get you, sick so so they could sell a vaccine. The COVID was the jam up to get you to take the vaccines. The fucking bullshit. And it's hard to believe that can just be reversed in somebody so easily. Even after sometimes 6 to 8 months after your last thing, you survived. I mean, they just give you boosters till you get the right one. It's like the lottery of death or something, man. It's like Russian roulette with the vaccines. That people still go do this. But that's where I'm not happy about being isolated. Remember about the back in the day, saying when people would get hysterical, you could slap them, not like to slap the taste out of their mouth or hurt them, just to, hey, we're in a bad situation. I ain't no time for this shit. We'll do that later, okay? Well, if you're isolated, I can't do that. I wouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling right now about how some people are just either laying down to take this. They see the technocracy is rearing its head. I mean, it's probably gonna happen, man. People like kissing ass anyway more than they like voting. They'd rather vote on an opinion poll and get a 5-star rating to a president. Yeah, excuse me. I guess they would call themselves a king or an emperor. It has to be an empire. We took over the American empire of weapons manufacturing with AI, but no robots. By the way, they still don't have a walking robot. By the way, it's the one function that they cannot make happen with the humanoid stand-up robots. They can make the 4-legged ones. You can't kick them so much over. Even if you got it over, it gets right back up. And the Boston Dynamic Doberman Pinscher dogs, that's real. But you got to have serious fucking power to run that because AI sucks it up. 5G sucks it up. You got Bill Gates over Microsoft is bought 3 Mile Island and they're refurbishing it. Bezos bought another one. He's refurbishing it for his AI. Musk is just doing what Trump told him he was going to do at the beginning, and just waiting on Trump to say, "We'll just run you a power station right by the people's." Because he was talking to Musk, said, we're going to have to really redo the infrastructure of America for AI to go everywhere. He said, we'll just run something new beside it, and they can have that, and we got the good stuff. That's what they consistently think about you. And yet, that's supposed to be the job the people put them in, and they're servants. But they don't even look at you as servants. You're in the way. You're in the way of the world the way they want it. They're insane. They'll think about that. Anyway. I'm gonna get off here and just tell you that I love you. And it's hard to admit things sometimes about yourself that by admitting it and starting to walk in that light of that epiphany about yourself. It's life-saving. But you got to have something to fall back on in case you want to get lazy and backslide. Like Christians like that word backslide. So you don't want to backslide on your decisions that you made about your life or whatever that are good decisions. There you go. You say them out loud. that is why I say a lot of the things. 'Cause I don't think everything's necessary or funny, and a lot of things are embarrassing to talk about. Even if you're making a good lesson out of it, you know, a self-sacrifice from being a good lesson for a lot of other people. That's going to be looked at, you know, and respected and taken into you know, account. Um, wow. I just wow. I mean, that's like an ultimate respect to me. Not that I get it done. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. You know, if somebody did that for you, so we got to be able to pass around firmness. Just be firm. You still love them. Be ready for anything. Don't die on the couch with them. That's how you save their lives, and how you get rid of a lot of your fear. Go do something. Get it started. But I ain't wrote it down yet, or maybe I have. But welcome to the technocracy, because this whole popularity thing is bigger than the Constitution, and I hate to say that. Anyway, I love y'all, and oh, that's the other thing. The corporations feel it every time that we back off of something, even when we, you know, not saying we boycotting anything. I don't want a $50 million fine or 20 years in prison. But remember that buying things from each other. Well, by the way, Miss Adams right there is a author in great books. Um, I'm going to sit there and just bust everybody out. But every one of y'all got something. I mean, that grows in your area. Even if you didn't really make any money off of it, you were just getting, you were living the change. You were walking the talk. You were doing things when nobody was looking that was making a difference. And you didn't have to tell nobody. Anyway, I love y'all. Don't live in fear.